Dear paper presenters, to the extent possible, make it very, very brief. I believe as you have prepared the paper, you are very much thorough with the content of the paper. Take effort to make it very, very brief. The duration for paper presentation is 5 minutes. Take a minimum of 3 minutes and a maximum 5 minutes. I request Yan Sundar, Assistant Professor, Department of English of Sri Paramakalyani College, Alvakuriji, to present his paper titled Between Life and Death, the Existence of Tamil Endangered in the Short Stories of Pudumai Pittan. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Respected dignitaries on the dais, I thank you all for giving me this wonderful opportunity to present my paper titled Between Life and Death, the Existence of Tamil Endangered in the Short Stories of Pudumai Pittan, co-authored by my Dr. Kannamutaya, Assistant Professor and Research Head, Department of English, Sadakathuallah Appa College. At a time of greater conflict in Europe and Middle East, concentrating on the lives of unarmed citizens becoming more important than the politics behind those conflicts. Refugees were migrants who left their hometown because of social, economic, racial or religious tensions. In 2024, when the war between Russia and Ukraine nears its third year, and the war between Israel and Hamas moves beyond 4 months, the world might face the highest number of refugees after World War II. While the mainstream media is more concerned about the refugee crisis, which focuses more on the challenges of the neighboring nations because of the large-scale migration of war-torn civilians, it is just and humane to talk about crisis of refugees. Throughout history, native people were thrown out of their motherland because of economic, religious, and racial exploitations. They were either forcefully or locatively moved to other lands as refugees. This paper concentrated on the portrayal of the life of Tamil refugees in the short stories of Pudumai Pittan. The stories taken for this particular papers are Thunbakeni, Manida Yendiram, and Nasakara Kumbal, and these stories depict the life of Tamil refugees in the plantations in Ceylon, the present-day Sri Lanka. These stories were set in late 19th century and early 20th century when Tamil people in Ceylon were considered as social and economic refugees from India rather than as citizens of Sri Lanka. Thunbakeni covers the plight of the 3 generations of women in a family. Not all sections of Tamil society accepted the offer of being a plantation worker in Sri Lanka. Lower castes, who had no other option to escape from the caste-based agrarian society, chose to go to the neighboring island for meager wages. In this short story, a Dalit named Vellayan in Tirunelveli, Tamil Nadu, was accused of abducting 2 bulls. As a complaint was raised by the landlord, he was arrested and convicted without any legal evidence. His voice was suppressed because he was a Dalit, and he was later imprisoned. His wife, 2 months pregnant then, went back to the parents' house. While reading literature of refugees, it is imminent to analyze the social factors in the native land that ignites immigration. Manida Indiram depicts the life of Meenakshi Sundaram in Tirunelveli, Tamil Nadu, who strived to escape from 45 years of his monotonous life as a salesman in the grocery shop. This short story mirrored the economic reasons for migration. Despite being punctual, sincere and religious, Meenakshi Sundaram was ineffectual in becoming out of lower middle class life. The owner handed over the entire responsibility to him, including the handling of cash, but he could not escape from the lower status of his life. In the recently published book titled The Intended and Their Root, A Relentless Quest for Identity, the book which was published in 2023, diplomat turned writer Bashwati Mukherjee expressed the quandary of Indian refugees in Reunion Islands, Mauritius and the Caribbean islands. The author proved that the abolition of slave trade all over the world resulted in the beginning of Indian indentures being transported for plantation works. After the abolition of slavery, the former slaves from Africa were replaced by cheap Indian laborers who were brought as economic refugees.
Sundar sir, sum up.
So, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sundar sir. You have chosen a wonderful topic, life and death. Between these 2 events, we have a lot. It means a lot. Thank you so much for selecting a wonderful topic. Sundar sir. Next I call upon Harry Nashni of the Department of English, research scholar at the Department of English and Research Center at Sadakathuallah College, Tirunelveli, to present a paper on a psychoanalytic reading of transnational migrants in Abdul Razak Gurna's Gravel Heart. Please.
I am Han Nashni from Sadakathuallah College. My presentation is entitled A Psychoanalysis of Transnational Migrants in Abdul Razak Gurna's Gravel Heart. Title explanation of my presentation is transnational migrants moves from one place to another country as a refuge, struggle to find a place in a new country that leaves them in a state of great desperation. Psychoanalysis of these migrants in a strange land reveals their trauma of displacement, racial discrimination, language barrier, depression, and social isolation in an alien country. Gurna's ninth novel, Gravel Heart, portrays the experience of migrants in a new country, voices the agony of refugees in England. Abdul Razak Gurna was born on December 1948, East African of Tanzanian origin, is a professor at Kent University in the UK. He was awarded Nobel Prize for Literature in 2021. His works deals with the issues of belonging, colonialism, displacement, memory, and migration. Objectives of my presentation is to trace the complexity of migrants' life in their strange land, to analyze the issues of migrants' search for independency and social dignity in their homeland. And then I am going to deal with to highlight the psychological problem like language barrier, fear, and social isolation. And last I am going to deal with the racial discrimination faced by the migrants in a strange land. These migrants are forced to deal with a wide range of stresses in a new land. Migrants suffer from the trauma of relocation in a new country. They undergo the issues like fear, homelessness, isolation, and oppression. Settlers often face difficulty of learning the new languages, adjustment to a new environment, and navigating the social system in their host country. Salim, the protagonist, encounters the different stages of life and troubles in the strange land. Salim moves from the east coast of Africa to England due to his family poverty. Salim has a fear of mixing with the new society. And then he goes to London to stay with his uncle for his higher education. His uncle's suggestion, he wants to study business, but he was interested in study in literature. Language barrier is one of the biggest challenges faced by the migrants, and this is the greatest struggle to fit into the new country. Language barrier makes immigrants feel isolated and hopeless, which often leads to depression. Salim does not feel comfortable in an alien country because of lack of friendship. As a typical immigrant student in England, he is afraid of drifting into this anxiety of language barrier. And Salim faces many pathetic experiences like racial discrimination. He also gets the feeling of homeliness and happiness in his foreign land after getting a relationship with a girlfriend, Billy. Billy family refuses to accept Salim. Billy family refuses because of his racial minority as a Muslim and African. Billy mother mocks him as a nigger, and which shows the
Dear
racial...
participants, kindly be listening to, be cooperative. Right?
Billy's mother mocks him, Salim, as a nigger, which shows the racial discrimination resulting in the exile and alienation of the protagonist as a traumatic experience for migrants. Every immigrant has to intermingle with the society and try to adapt themselves to a multicultural society. Gurna emphasizes the consequence of traumatic experience, personal sufferings, isolation, discrimination, and the failure of immigrants' life. Gurna's Gravel Heart highlights the root cause of emotional pain suffered by the alien settlers in England. Grable Horn exposed not only the immigrants' painful and traumatic experience in the host country, but also issues the surroundings of migrants and its impact on the migrants.
Okay, Ashni, madam. Okay, good. Kindly sum up. No, a wonderful topic you have taken. A psychoanalytic reading of transnational migrants in Abdul Razak Gurna's Travel Heart. Okay, on what basis have you taken this topic? Your research on Abdul Razak Gurna,
Yeah, sir.
Professor Emeritus.
Yes, sir.
He himself
Yes, sir.
is a migrant.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
From Tanzania to England.
Good, good. Dear audience, do you have any question? Thank you, Ashni, for your wonderful paper. Now I call upon Jesse, PhD research scholar at the Postgraduate and Research Department of English, St. John's College, Palayam Gotai. She is presenting with us a paper on contextualization of bodily politics in the poetic production of Dalit women. Please present.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jessie, research scholar from St. John's College. My paper is on the title, The Contextualization of Body Politics in the Poetic Production of Dalit Women. Although it is not related to today's conference on migration, I have touched upon on one of its sub-themes, that is subjectivization, especially of the body. In attempting to contextualize the Dalit female bodily experience, the inextricable tie between caste, class and patriarchy necessitates the exploration of
Dear all, please keep quiet, please.
Interrelation. Ambedkar states that caste determines the division of labor, sexual division of labor and the division of sexual labor. This establishment of the correlation between the three enables the discussion of the institutionalized operation and the mechanism of caste system on Dalit women's body and in turn their subjectivization. Since bodies are sites in which social construction of differences are mapped onto human beings, subjecting the body to systemic regimes such as government regulation is a method of ensuring the body will behave in socially and politically accepted manners. In the religiously influenced ideological discourse, the body is placed in hierarchized dichotomies of the pure and the polluted, as the Manusmriti uses this doctrine to classify the population into 4 varnas, and the Dalit women body is placed outside the 4 varnas. They are given the subhuman category that is placed along with animals, constructing a concept of biological normativity and situating them and creating the subjectivity that is constructed around the other. In the application of body politics in the poetical production of female Dalit poets, feminist, racial and anatomopolitical approaches to bodily politics is undertaken for a holistic perspective. Sugirda Rani, a female Dalit poet, in her politically concerned poetical production, explores the discrimination of the female body. She states that caste identity and the female body are closely intertwined. Especially Dalit women's bodies are subjected to routine violence. Regarding the operation of the anatomopolitics in the mechanisms used, Dalit women are exempted from strict codes like sati, enforced widowhood, the notion of chastity, as their moments are...
Jessie, madam, okay, we are happy that you are doing a research on this poetic production. Can you just read out any one of the poems do you have?
Sure, sir. So in her poem called My Body, she compares her body to natural landscapes and thus escaping the social institutionalized categorization of her body as something that is outside the human category. Through a mountain where small shrubs flow, a river along its banks, branches of trees running with sap lean over and touch the water surface. The fruit, tasting richly of ginger, break upon their fine skins and put forth their seeds. The day seed dissolves into the night's coolness. In the end, nature becomes my body lying still. Do I end my...
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jessie. Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Now I call upon W. Jefflims, from a PhD scholar at the Postgraduate and Research Department of English at St. John's College, Palayam Gotai. Thank you for contributing a paper. He is going to read out a paper titled Rational Choice Theory in Finders Keepers, a new sort of theory. Really, we are happy that you are introducing a new theory, rational choice theory. Do present, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jefflim Samraja from St. John's College. My topic is exploration of postmodern American rationalism through rational choice theory in finders keepers. Actually, rational choice theory simply, it can be said as rationalism is a logical reasoning of a person which can differ from person to person because of the situation which differs from person to person, the thoughts that influence the person, and it may affect the society or the people due to their personal decision, which is in turn influenced by logical reasoning of his mind, and the consequential decision may be based off his personal experience. Rationalism is a complicated word and it is defined as an intellectual discourse. It is a controversial point for an argument and it can be defined in multiple ways. Most of the disciplines claim rationalism, but the definition differs slightly between the disciplines. People abide by the ancestral and religious faith until the dawn of rationalism thought. It is also a philosophical movement which gained momentum during the 17th century, notably known as the Age of the Reason. It started developing since the Age of Enlightenment. The seedling for the revolution thought was put forth by the Rene Descartes. The economist Robert Frank states that the concept of rationality contains a number of definitions and meanings. Strength and weakness depend on their own respective field. Simple fact is that rationalism is a simple concept and no other computer has overtook them. Same way, Susan Hurley and Matthew Nuts make a similar statement that in application to human beings, different disciplines use rationality in different sense. Some focus on rational behavior and others on rational process in line with different assumptions and purpose. As a result, there is a danger of talking at cross purposes in interdisciplinary discussion. The treasure discovery is unexpected and is turning point in PD's life.
Jefflim sir, very good. So theory plays a very vital role in our literature, right? Any theory for that matter. Everyone is so interested. Can you please just summarize or put in short the rational theory?
Rational theory means a person's choice is based on his own understanding.
Rationality.
Understanding, that's
okay. Good. Thank you, Jefflim. Thank you so much. Okay. Now I call upon Madhavi Krishna, the full-time research scholar at the Department of English, Sri Appa College for Women, Chungangada, to present a paper on cultural hybridity, resilience and adaptability, a probe into the Fabio Jadas, In the Sea There Are Crocodiles, the story of Inayatullah Akbari. Please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Esteemed faculties, colleagues and my dear friends, today I am delighted to present before you my paper titled Cultural Hybridity, Resilience and Adaptability, a probe into Fabio Jada's In the Sea There Are Crocodiles, the story of Inayatullah Akbari. Forced migration has surged in the recent years, drawing attention to complex factors driving this phenomenon. Some of the causal factors for forced migration includes persecution, natural and industrial disasters, war and ethnic conflicts, environmental degradation. So this paper tried to explore the positive societal transformation depicted in Jada's novel, offering insight into the refugee experience through the lens of cultural theorists Homike Bhabha and Stuart Hall. Refugee narratives is often steeped in stereotypes of suffering and victimhood. However, this novel challenges these simplistic notions and presents a nuanced exploration of resilience and adaptability amidst adversity. Homike Bhabha, in his work The Location of Culture, brings out the notion of hybridity, which is situated in the liminal space, which serves as a foundational concept of understanding the fluidity of cultural identities. Cultural hybridity refers to the blending, mixing and intermingling of diverse cultural elements, practices and identities. And this occurs in the liminal space, which refers to the intermediate or transitional space where cultural identities evolve, merge, intersect and even undergo metamorphosis. And this space is characterized by uncertainty, ambiguity and fluidity, and this is also a space which has a lot of potential where the marginalized communities like refugees, they voice out their concerns and they challenge the dominant discourses. And
okay, sum up.
sorry, sir.
Okay.
So
actually, The title is so good. In the sea there are crocodiles.
Yeah.
The mere title
Yeah,
scares us.
Yeah.
What is it? Can you put
Sir,
in short?
actually, this particular novel is based on the true story of Anatollah Akbari, who is a
Real crocodiles or
yeah.
implication?
Sorry, sir.
Real crocodiles?
No, sir. Which can be seen as a metaphor. Crocodile symbolizes danger or that treacherous journey. So, being a refugee, Anatollah during his journey he faces a lot of danger. So crocodile can be symbolized, can be a metaphor for the dangers that he faced in his journey.
Good. Thank you so much
Okay.
for being.
Thank you.
Thank you for your answers also. Now I call upon our Guru Nagalakshmi, research scholar at the Department of English, St. Saviour's College, Palayamkottai. She is going to read us a paper, Discernment of False Consciousness and Class Consciousness, an overview of Benjamin Quatje.
So,
Please, madam.
myself, Guru Nagalakshmi, I am the research scholar of St. Saviour's College, Palayamkottai, and I am going to present a paper titled Discernment of False Consciousness and Class Consciousness and Overview of Benjamin Wakey. So, this paper is done under the guidance of Dr. B. Lakshmikantham, Assistant Professor, Department of English of St. Saviour's College, Palayamkottai. And this topic is revolves around the false consciousness and the class consciousness. So this is a need of the hour because this is a era of globalization. Globalization has accelerated the integration of nations economically, erasing the borders of the nations, and we are in the global era. So we are all having the positive aspects of the globalization. Today I am going to talk about the darker side of the globalization, that is the globalization aims at the positive side, that is the economic development and economic growth. But the recent researchers and the papers, it encloses the truth that still the third world, some of the countries in the third world nations they are suffering from poverty. So the
dear participants, kindly be cooperative, please.
So in the spectacular vision, this globalization can be viewed as a new networks in the form of hegemony and Euros American in the center of the display. So still what happening is American style is in progress. The economic growth is one of the weapons of the hegemony to improvise. It is a form of the imperialism. So this inequality distribution of wealth and income still persists in some of the, as I announced in the third world nations, some of the countries. So people or youngsters, particularly youngsters, are running around the dream of American dream. The term American dream was coined by James Truslow Adams in his book of Epic of America in the year 1931, and he used the term in the intention of not for high wages and not for the dream of motor cars. His dream is to maintain the social order and enable.
Okay, good. Wonderfully, you really effortlessly you presented your paper, right? My due appreciation for your summing up and for your briefing. It was wonderful. Do keep it up, right? Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Now I call upon Hajara, the full-time scholar of our college, Research Center in English, Sadakathuallah College. Okay. Now I call upon Jesslyn Chellam, the PhD research scholar at the Department of English, St. John's College, Palayamkottai. She is going to present a paper on the figure of migrant mobility, subjectivity and expulsion in Octavia E. Butler's Parable of the Sower. Please, madam.
Good afternoon, everyone. The title of my paper is The Figure of Migrant Mobility, Subjectivity and Expulsion in Octavia E. Butler's The Parable of the Sower. So the work, The Parable of the Sower, is a dystopian novel where their community, they lived in a confined wall, and it's a dystopian novel where they are away from other precarities. So I have analyzed this novel with Thomas Nail's theory of migrant from his book Figure of Migrant. So according to Thomas Nail, there are 4 types of migrants. They are nomads, barbarians, vagabond and proletarian. So nomads, according to Nail, I quote, the migrant who is abandoned by the centripetal explosion and who abandons the territory to create a life on the road. Actually, the nomads are the person who travel from one place to another in search of a fertile land, and also they can adapt and survive in any kind of situation. And they have a quest for pastoral lands. So in this work, the community Earthseed, along with the main character Lauren, when the wall of their community breaks, they move forward, they migrate from their place in search of pastoral land, and they move from one pasture to another pasture according to their according to the season and the situations, and they can adapt the situation. And for example, they may prepare their own food, and they do own jobs, and also they use water purification tablets to ensure their water supply. So they adapt the situation easily, and they survive in the place wherever they travel. And the second category, according to Thomas Nail, is barbarians, and we can come across in this novel barbarians when these nomad people travel, when they contrifugal from their place to their neighborhood, they can come across many barbarian groups. Barbarians are the type of people, they are excluded from their state, and the barbarians, we can include cannibals, thieves, and they roam along their society as gangs with armed force, and even the children were pushed into this barbaric act. So one instance, when this Lauren and her community travel, they come across a group of children found roasting human leg and in their campfire. So these are the instances that we can come across the novel. And next, vagabonds. According to Nail, I quote, "Continuous oscillation insofar as it is a wandering movement without origin or final destination." Actually, vagabond are a people where they don't have any goals or any, they don't come under any law. They just roam and wander, and they travel. These community people, along with Lauren, they come across these such of vagabond people too. So for example, they came across squatters, street poorer, and freeway dwellers. So these are the many characters we could see in this novel, The Parable of Sower. And the final type, proletariat, these are the people, they are employed and they are in search of employment. So they come under this category, proletariat. So according to Thomas Nail, the actively employed worker and the unemployment floating population, these people come under this proletariat category. They strive, work hard to build up their economical conditions. So here also we can come across a character, Emire, and her children, who become responsible for their debt of her deceased father. So they to pay the debt, they have to strive hard, and they have to empower themselves, and they have to employ themselves. So they come under this category, proletariat. And also they risk their life, and in
Dear
one
audience,
instance,
please.
Dangerous factories full of poisons and machines that can cause harm. Even in that situation, they are pushed to work in these types of areas also. This also we can come across in these novels. And according to the expulsion, there is a centripetal expulsion and centrifugal expulsion. So the category no man and the exploratory, they come under the category centrifugal, who are striving hard to come out of their circle and move forward. And when the wall breaks between the community and their neighborhood. And the another two category, the vagabond and the barbarian, they strive hard to come inside, that is centrifugal expulsion. So thus I have analyzed my novel with the theory of migrants from the book of Thomas Nail. The Book of Immigrants.
Good, very good, Jesslyn. My sincere appreciations, right? This is what is expected of a paper presenter. You know, made justice to your presentation, right? You know, it is the outcome of your commitment, your, due preparation, right? Keep it up. All the best from Sadakathuallah Appa College. We are so happy that we have got many contributors from. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Many contributors from St. John's College. So, our sir has a question.
Actually, you spoke about you are applying snakes theory, right? You should be able to show one of the examples to apply. You have to take one of the tenets of the theory and then try to read the select passage of your original text so that it will be sensible, right? That doesn't come now. In the long run, it will come. So try to identify passage in terms of the theory. That they are reciprocal to each other. That is how you have chosen to talk about this particular novel using that particular theory, right?
Yes.
That you have to make a mention of it. And you should be able to show one or two examples, at least at a tertiary level, not fully, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your observation and pertinent suggestion. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Now I call upon all can clap. Give her a big hand. Now it's Ritzi. Yes, Ritzi, research scholar from the postgraduate and research department of English, St. John's College, Palayamkote. She is going to present a paper on reshaping life views, PTSD's transformative effects in Anuradha's The Folded Earth. Please.
Good afternoon. My paper is entitled Reshaping Life Views, PTSD's Transformative Effects in Anuradha Roy's novel The Folded Earth. Before presenting my paper, I would like to explain my title. PTSD is nothing but a post-traumatic stress disorder, and it is a serious mental health condition.
It is PTSD. Yes, good, very good. I just want to tell the audience. You can expand it again. PTSD's theory, transformative theory. Good.
PTSD is a post-traumatic stress disorder, and it is a serious mental health condition, and it can happen to anyone who has witnessed a trauma in their life, and that includes accidents, violence, war, and any natural disasters. And a person who is detected with PTSD, they undergo a series of symptoms that includes nightmares, daydreaming, anxiety, and avoidance of things or situations that once gave them the traumatic event, and it disturbs their entire life, and it interferes in their daily routine, and it completely changes their life. And not only anxiety and fear, they are also not unable to connect with the people around. And I have chosen Anuradha Roy, an Indian writer and who is well known for her contemporary novels, and in The Folded Earth she has placed the protagonist Maya, who had lost her husband in the recent time, and she was not able to come out of it, and this losing her husband was a trauma in her life, and she wanted to move to another place, but the situation does not turn out to be what she expected, because one day she feels content and other day is filled with trauma. And thereby trauma is a distressing event, and it is an unconscious process, and new attitude is always matched with the pre-existing attitude. For instance, Maya in this novel, whenever she feels happy and whenever she wants to spend her time with the people around, she always connects a time with her husband she had spent. There was a good old memories, and she says that it is my psychological reaction to the stressful situations that I have faced. And next one is the avoidance symptoms. And avoidance symptoms in PTSD, they tend to avoid visiting or speaking to the person who once was related to their past traumatic event. And not only they avoid situation, neither are they willing to come out of their trauma, nor are they taking any steps to stay in a happy place. For example, in this novel, Maya
she saw a box that was sent from the mountaineering institution. She lost her husband when he had gone for his mountaineering. So they sent the remaining things of her husband's material, and she was not able to open the box because she thinks that if I open the box, I will get all the memories of my husband. So in order to avoid that, I am avoiding this situation, and this is the avoidance symptoms. Next one is the arousal symptoms. Arousal symptoms, best example for arousal.
Dear participants, please be
Best
participative.
example
Please keep quiet.
for arousal symptom is sleep disturbances. They get nightmares, and Maya in this novel, she says that I wake up all of a sudden soaked in sweat, and I think that I have seen them all in my real life. And she says, I hear the dead bodies sound, a pile of dead bodies, or they're all piled up together, and they're scratching one another, and all these things she sees in her dream, and this makes her disturbed, and her normal life gets completely disturbed. And the next one is depression. Moving on to depression, we all face depression in our life, but it lasts only for a shorter period of time. But a person with PTSD, they tend to have a higher intensity, and it lasts for a longer period of time. For instance, they have persistent sadness, they feel lost, they feel terrified, and they feel worthless, and they have sleep disturbances, nightmares, and they tend to avoid any situation that has a connection to their past. And for instance, in this novel, Maya, she fails to concentrate on her present because there is a constant tension between her past and the present, and there is also a constant battle between her physical mind, physical body, and also her mental mind. So I would like to conclude that Maya in this novel, she has lost her loved one, and that led to PTSD, leading to suffering, and even at one point in time she thinks that I want to end my life, and she correctly quotes that one day I'll be ready but not now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritzi. You made a brilliant presentation, right? I that you have a great future, right? Your dramatization, your facial expression, and hand movements, everything was fine.
Thank you, sir.
Right? So keep it up. My hearty congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Ritzi.
Thank
Any
you, sir.
questions?
So are you reminded of any poets undergoing this kind of drama? Especially poets who were part of a war where they took part in war and then they got the accident or amputation. Then they suffered a lot. Are you reminded of any poets like?
Sir, I am not reminded of poets, but I would say novelists, sir. Since I am concentrating on novels, maybe I should look into the poet as well. Preeti Shenoy, sir. Her works are full of based on trauma, but I
would suggest you to read any text related to First World War, trauma to history.
Sure, sir.
So that you can use them as core text for your study. And your presentation was more about talking about the theoretical aspect.
Yes, sir.
You have to strike a balance between what you wanted to convey through the PhDs and concept and how you are going to apply or how that would be read.
Yes.
The novel.
Yes, sir.
Novel is more important than theory.
Theory. Yes, sir.
Keep in your mind.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Good. Ritzi. Now I call upon Hajara.
Good afternoon. I am Hajara.
Hajara is presenting a paper on afflictions of Elam Tamils in Cheran's select poems. She is a research scholar, full-time research scholar at the Research Center in English of Sadakathuallah College. Please, Hajara.
So, my title is Afflictions of Elam Tamils in Cheran's select poems. So, afflictions, as you all know, it's a state of pain and suffering. So, Tamil people could not forget the sufferings caused to them by Sinhalese. So, during the civil war in Sri Lanka. So, my paper deals with that, and I have analyzed Cheran's poems. So, I have taken 4 poems that deal with this concept. So, Cheran, he is an influential poet from Jaffna, Sri Lanka. He has written many poems regarding the Tamil Elam issues. So, he has witnessed the effects and the violence. So, he has witnessed the violence and disaster of civil war in Sri Lanka between the Sinhalese and the LTTE. So, that is the liberation of Tamil Elams. So, as you all know, the LTTE fought and claimed for an independent state called Tamil Elam for them. So in his journal Saturday Review, he expressed his views and he expressed his views on freedom for the Tamil people, that is the minorities of Sri Lanka. But he neither supported Sri Lanka nor joined any Tamil militant groups. So he was hated both by LTTE and Sri Lankan army. So most of his poems deal with the calamities of civil war, the pathetic situation of Elam Tamils. So he believes that through his poetry, peace can be brought. So maybe it cannot be brought with radical changes, but at least it will be brought, he hoped. So he has published the poetry collection in Tamil called Erindu Kondirukkum Neram, and it contains many themes like Sri Lankan civil war, love, displacement and the expression of diaspora. So this collection was translated by Lakshmi Harmstorm with the title In a Time of Burning. So in this paper, in my paper, I have taken the poems that is based on the burial of the Jaffna library and the riots following that. On the night of June 1st, 1981, the Jaffna library was set fire by the Sinhalese policemen. So it burned down. It destroyed nearly 95,000 of Tamil books and many precious palm leaf manuscripts. So I have taken 4 poems, and the 4 poems are A Second Sunrise, and When They Shot Him Dead, What Have We Lost, and finally Amma Don't Weep. So
can you read out any of the poems?
Poem.
Do you have?
I have only e-books.
Okay.
So first poem is A Second Sunrise. So it is about the Jaffna library incident. So the poet is standing in a seashore and he is seeing a second sunrise from the south side. So usually sun rises only in the east, right? So that day he sees a sunrise from the south side. So actually it is nothing but the smoke that comes from the burial of the Jaffna library. So as I already said, it destroyed many Tamil books and precious manuscripts, palm leaf manuscripts. So though Tamils have all the rights to claim the land, they were treated like refugees. Finally, he expresses his lack of hope that no one could save these Tamil people. Only these people, only the victims could take steps to save themselves. He expressed this with this line. Who are you waiting for? Your hands tied behind your backs. So and the next poem, When They Shot Him Dead. So it is about a man who is shot dead for having tried to defend himself, for having tried to save himself from the rioters. So during the riot, the Sinhalese policemen plundered Tamil people's houses, and they come to his houses and all they could do is he could use his gun. So he used his father's gun. So actually he did not use it against those rioters. He just used it twice, and one into the ground and another into the air. So just for doing this, he was shot dead by the Sinhalese rioters. So and the Tamil people who are standing around him could not save him either. So they just watched him lose his soul. So another poem is What Have We Lost? So this poem is written in memory of his friend Kathir. So he is shot dead in the conflict by Sinhalese. Just for being a Tamil, he and other people have to face a lot of suffering by the Sinhalese people. Their houses, the Tamil people houses are looted, estates were burnt, women are raped, and the people are brutally killed. So this Kathir is seen as the representation of all Tamil Elam who fall victims in the hands of the Sinhalese. Finally the poet says that he believes that the Kathir roles has not ended. He still calls him to be in the wind, the sea and its waves to help them in avenging the Sinhalese people. And finally last one is Amma Don't Weep. So it is his another painful poems. So here a mother lost her husband. So once handed over the baby, her husband is shot dead by the Sinhalese policeman in the Jaffna conflict riot. So actually no rituals are done to this mother for to remove her thali. So usually the Tamil people would do a lot of rituals to remove thali, but no rituals are done to this woman, because during the riot her thali is automatically removed and fall into the dust, and it is also stained with the blood of her husband, so that indicates his death. So actually in this poem, the poet does not console this mother. Actually he stirs her emotion against those people. So he also advises her, when her baby grows up and asks for his mother, she should not console him, saying that his father has gone to the God. Instead, she should arouse his emotion with anger, what really had happened to his dad. She should tell him like that. He advised to this lady. Actually, it is a message not only to this mother, but every mother who has lost her husbands. So finally, I would conclude that though war and conflict have ended in Sri Lanka, the Tamil people could never forget those afflictions caused to them. So through such literary works, the pain of these Elam Tamils still lives in the history. So
okay, very good, Hajara. Thank you so much. Right, your presentation was good. Right, the clarity was fine. Good, keep it up. Very good, Hajara. Thank you. Now I call upon John s.muthamil, the research scholar at St. John's College, Palayam. He is coming to present us a paper titled Depiction of Climate Migration in Maggie Gee's The Ice People. Please present it, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone. This is John s.muthamil, research scholar from St. John's College. The topic of my presentation is depiction of climate migration in Maggie Gee's The Ice People. First of all, I want to tell about what is climate migration and who are climate migrants. So, climate migration is nothing but it's a kind of migration caused by climate calamities or climate apocalypse. In that same way, climate migrants are the persons who move one place to another place because of climate calamities. And moreover, we know that if the climate of place or territory is affected by the climate change, the place will be uninhabitable. So there is no way. The people have to move away from their own place, because the climate change will affect the
dear student participants, please listen to our paper presentation, please.
The climate change will affect the people's lives or living conditions. So that's how the climate migrants are raised. And my presentation focuses on what are the difficulties that will be encountered by the climate migrants. And my objectives are to provide wide knowledge about climate change induced migration and its consequences, then adopting migrants and framing the issues of migration globally, prompting humanism among the people to consider migrants as their fellow citizens. And moreover, as we know, the literature is the mirror of life, and literature is the mirror of society. So in that way, the literature also deals with the same problem. So the climate migration is a global problem. Also, the literature deals with it. And in the literature, climate fiction is the framework or blueprint to explicit the days of climate change as the post-apocalyptic era, when people are struggling to survive physically, economically, politically and psychologically. And the climate fiction frames the climate migrants as survivors, because every climate migrant is facing so many problems, so many difficulties during their migration. And for example, I have taken the novel The Ice People, written by Maggie Gee. In this novel, we can find out what are the difficulties faced by the climate migrants. Maggie Gee's The Ice People, the novel depicting two different climate change eras, expresses how migrants are engaged by the inhabitants during the days of climate change. At the beginning of the novel, Saul, the protagonist of the novel, explores his hatred of foreigners, migrants from African countries who are trying to enter England due to the intolerable effects of global warming in the country. Saul disgusts them and doesn't want to share anything with the black people despite the government underpins them. He believes that the African people lie to get support from Britain. Hence, some inhabitants from entire countries don't want to share their life and belongings with the migrated people, as they assume migrants as liars and scoundrels. Even government provide permission, the people have no interest in helping them. Particularly, Saul mentions them as black people. Thus, migrants encounter difficulties because of their racial identity. And moreover, as the time reversed, unfortunately, Saul becomes a migrant in the middle of the novel, since Britain entered into the ice age caused by climate change. As climate change is apocalyptic era, there are so many conflicts in the European countries in politics and society. Culture has been altered, and women who believe that they do not need men forever start to rule the country. Therefore, Saul wants to emigrate from Europeans in order to protect himself and his son Luke from the ice. When Saul plans his destination, he recognizes the divergence among the countries in accepting migrants. The discrepancy between the countries has exposed in the novel. And moreover, due to the climate calamities, the migrants commence a venture to save their life in a new place. During the migration, they have to face many difficulties from the people whom they pass through. They have to cross the robbers and killers in their ways. Their survival test begins when they depart from their territory. When Saul, Luke and Bryony halted in a place during their travel, they noticed one of the rooms accidentally in the building where they found some documents. Saul depicts the room. There were all these documents, passports, birth certificates from so many countries piled on a desk. I think they were stolen. They take them from travelers. Thus the robbers
s.muthamil,
sees...
sir. Good. Okay. Very odd presentation. Very good, sir. Your term, climate migration.
Yeah.
Really, it's climate change is the alarming thing, right? You made a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for briefing your research on climate migration. Thank you. Now I call upon Ms. Sumaya Muhsina, second MA English student of Sadakathuallah Appa College, to present her paper on navigating displacement and resilience, lessons from Pearl Bucks, the refugee. Please, Muhsina.
Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon to everybody. I am Sumaya Muhsina from 2nd MA English. I am here to present the paper titled as Navigating Displacement and Resilience, Lessons from the Pearl Bucks, the Refugee. So here Buck's short story is about the refugee. As you know, we have studied this story in our 12th standard. Many of you can remember and many of you can't. Okay, so and navigating displacement and resilience, the backdrop of the recent flood in China is the old man. Sorry. This short story explores the profound themes of displacement and resilience and backdrop of recent flood in China. So people lost their homes and livelihoods. They forced to navigate. Through the vivid storytelling and nuanced characterizations, Buck highlights the emotional turmoil and resilience, underscoring the transformative power of empathy and compassion in fostering solidarity and rebuilding the lives. Native peoples hate their presence. They are not welcoming the refugees. So the chaos of the flood forced them to navigate to the capital city. Buck's vivid descriptions, aftermath of the catastrophe, underscores the disorientation and despair experienced by the displaced individuals as they embark on the journey towards the unfamiliar terrain of the capital city. Through the vintages, Buck portrays the grief and dislocation felt by the individuals who find themselves adrift in a world suddenly stripped of of familiarity and security. The central narrative of the character of an old man who symbolizes both the challenges and opportunity inherent in the refugee experience. So one of the poignant moment in the story occurs when the old man refuses to accept the charity from the passerby. The refugee involves a confused vendor who struggles to make the sense of the influxed displaced individuals into the capital city. So vendor initial skepticism and eventual empathy towards the refugee highlights the connection in the overcoming barriers and building more compassionate society. So old man refused to buy noodles, but he buy noodles for his grandson and he is saving money for agriculture. He expects his grandchild to farm in his own land. So this shows his love for his native land. He is so desperate to return. On the other hand, he refused to buy food for himself. He would like to starve himself. And as Bhupati sir said, no one is talking about that old people and children's, sufferings and struggles. But here, Bucks tried to present carefully she constructed the story by giving the grief of the refugees of old man and child. So we can see there's hope through the old man's last words. Well, I know you can't understand, but if you had land, you would know. It must be put to the seed again, or there will be starvation yet another year. The best I can do for this grandson of mine is to buy a little seed for the land. Yes, even though I die and others must plant it, the land must be put to seed. Like this old man, people need to have some hope and will to fight against for their identity. So thank you.
Thank you, Sumaya Muhsina. Stand there for a while. Sumaya Muhsina is one of the promising students of English department of Sadakathuallah Appa College. She did BA with us. She is doing MA now, and she has become a junior research fellow of the University Grants Commission. Give her a big hand. She is going to receive 24 lakh rupees in the next 5 years. It is going to be awarded to her by the University Grants Commission. In the recent NET examination, 55,000 qualified for the NET certificate. Out of 55,000, 5,000 students have got the fellowship, JRF, Junior Research Fellowship, and Sumaya Muhsina is one of them. Hearty congratulations, Sumaya. Right? Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Yes. Okay. Oh, that one. Here is Verslin Janita. She is going to present a paper on war, morality and the human condition, a theoretical examination of Hacksaw Ridge. Please present your paper.
So good evening all. My presentation is entitled War, Morality and the Human Condition, a Theoretical Examination of Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson and released in 2016, presents a profound exploration of courage, heroism and the realities of war through the narrative of protagonist Desmond Doss. Doss' steadfast commitment to non-violence amidst the brutality of World War II challenges conventional views of bravery and serves as a powerful anti-war statement. This literature research paper delves into the theoretical perspectives embedded within the film, examining its critique of blind obedience, exploration of individual moral choices in wartime settings. Doss' narrative not only challenges conventional views of bravery, but also serves as a profound anti-war statement defying the glorification of violence on the battlefield. Doss' unwavering commitment to non-violence, selflessness, and moral conviction presents a stark departure, yet no less courageous. By prioritizing saving lives over taking them, Doss redefines the essence of bravery, emphasizing compassion and service amidst the chaos of conflict. The true glorification of war as depicted in Hacksaw Ridge lies not in the valorization of death on the battlefield, but in the exploration of the human cost of conflict. By foregrounding the experiences of soldiers grappling with trauma and disillusionment, the film challenges the notion of war as a noble endeavor and instead presents it's a complex tapestry of individual tastes, dreams and regrets. War is often portrayed through a lens of adventure and heroism, wherein the protagonists embark on daring quest to defend the nation from perceived threats. But Desmonda's story could have been spun as a fantastical tale of courageous doctor saving lives without the need for weapons again of a fairy tale. However, the film represents a more
Janita madam, can you sum up?
Yes. Hacksaw Ridge emerges as a seminal film that challenges entrenched perceptions of bravery, heroism, and the nature of warfare. Through the compelling narrative of Desmondas, the movie transcends conventional portrayals of war as mere adventure or triumph. Instead of offering a nuanced exploration of the human experience amidst conflict, by foregrounding Dawes' unwavering commitment to non-violence, moral conviction, and selfless service, the film invites critical reflection on the complexities of courage and sacrifices in the face of adversity.
Thank you, Janita madam, for your wonderful presentation. Now comes Miss K. Ramya, an MA student, a second MA student from APC Mahalakshmi College for Women, Thoothukudi. She is going to present a paper on Will Trainer, a refugee in his own world, decoding the traumatic experiences in Jojo Moyes, Me Before You. Please, madam.
Good evening all, I am Ramya from APC Mahalakshmi College for Women. The title of my paper is William Trainer, a refugee in his own world, decoding the traumatic experience in Jojo Moyes' Me Before You. The novel is an emotional narrative that explores love, loss and identity. The story follows a resentful quadriplegic man, Will Trainer, and his high-spirited caregiver, Louisa Clark. Louisa Clark, she learns about Will's traumatic past and discovers the lasting impact of trauma and examines a coping mechanism against the spirit of existentialism. In the novel, Will struggles to come to terms with his new reality, and the loss of his physical disability shatters his purpose and identity. Will struggles with depression and suicidal thought. He feels like a refugee after becoming a quadriplegic. This parallels the experience of a real refugee who faces
Ramya, for a short while. Yes, Prabha Kanda here, research scholar from St. John's College. Okay. Sum up.
Who face displacement while in a unfamiliar circumstance. Through the novel, Jojo Moyes explores trauma and complexities of human relationships. I would like to conclude by stating that the book is a reminder that a person should live their life with courage even in difficult times.
Very good, Ramya. It's good that you have come forward to present a paper at your MA level. We hope that you would become a very good researcher. Keep it up. Keep doing. Thank you. All the best. Thank you all for being participative. We break this session. We free this platform for valedictory. Thank you one and all. Kindly fill in the feedback form given to you. Dear participants, kindly fill in as early as possible. And we have got 4 different paper presentation venues, out of which we have selected one best paper presenter in each venue. All paper presenters remain till the end, and the best paper presenter will best paper presentation award will be given at the valedictory. Thank you. Dear participants, remain indoor. As and when the other paper presenters come to this auditorium, tea, snacks will be served inside. You need not go out. Please stay inside, and we'll shortly start the valedictory. Thank you.
A very good evening, everyone present here. I welcome all of you for the valedictory session of the one-day national seminar on refugee writings. Homeland, Exile and Subjectivity. For the valedictory session, we have Dr. T.S. Varadarajan. I am happy to welcome and introduce the guest of honor, Dr. T.S. Varadarajan. I am in fact honored to introduce Dr. T.S. Varadarajan, fondly known as across Tamil Nadu, fondly known as TSV. Dr. Varadarajan is not just an ordinary person. Extraordinary person. He is. He is an asset of Tyagaraja College in Madurai. He is an assistant professor, senior grade, and an active research supervisor. I mean it. He is an active research supervisor in the Department of English, Tyagaraja College, Madurai. So, as Tennyson's Ulysses says, Dr. Varadarajan follows knowledge like a sinking star. He started his tertiary education journey in 1995 with BA English at Tanjavur, and he completed his PhD at Sastra University, Tanjavur in 2016. Dr. T. Varadarajan, his prolific career as a teacher started in the year 2000. Presently, he serves in the Department of English, Madurai, Tyagaraja College, with 22 years of teaching experience, a tertiary level teaching experience. With 27 research articles in national and international journals, Dr. Varadarajan's thirst for knowledge is inspiring. His reviews are famous. He has acted as a resource person for more than 50 seminars, webinars and guest lectures. These are not ordinary figures. He has acted as a PhD thesis evaluator for more than 30 theses. Dr. Varadarajan acts as a reviewer, editor in various reputed journals. He sets question paper for colleges across Tamil Nadu, not just 2 or 3 places, not just 2 or 3 colleges across Tamil Nadu. He sets question paper for different colleges. He has also been deputed as Deputy Controller of Examinations, NSS Program Officer, etc. Sir, you are not Macbeth and I am not one of the 3 witches. But history says when you acted as a COE or Deputy COE and NSS Program Officer, the next position would be in Principal's Chamber as Principal, sir. With this wish, I request you to deliver this valedictory address, sir. Please.
Bismillah al-Rahman al-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Alhamdulillah. Respected Principal, Dr. Abdul Qadir sir. Respected Dr. Hanif, Head of the Department of English. Dr. Abu Kani Miran, learned colleagues in the Department of English. Learned teacher faculty from different colleges. Students, research scholars of different colleges in and around Tirunelveli. Good evening to everyone. And I find it quite odd to address you in the evening because in the morning, whenever you get a chance to talk in the morning, there is a possibility of having captive audience or at least inquisitive audience. And the Principal sir is very busy now. He has been requested by the rank and file of this college to come and grace certain occasions. And I find it quite happy when I visited his chamber, and there was a complete harmony existed. One would not find this quite often elsewhere, and my happiness knows no bounds when I was there, when I was invited there, when we were there for more than 10 to 15 minutes. And next to when I have to talk about, it is not like offering panegyric. It comes out of honest observation and objective assessment. Professor Hanif, when I was invited by Professor Hanif for 2 months back, well in advance. All of a sudden one Thursday he called me in the afternoon about my being part of this particular event. I readily accepted. We have not met each other. We have been only virtual friends. Today only that that comes into reality. And such a fantastic man from the afternoon till now I have been observing him. Very cool customer, never getting worried about getting the work done, delegating people fantastically, and again, it was a kind of colossal task. Whenever you organize a meeting, it is not just like that can be done. So for him it is a cup of tea based on what I listened to from Professor Pubadi in the morning. He had been doing it as a kind of habit. So with this gratitude, he has given me 30 minutes to address you, and the moment I see your face going tired, I will stop it even well in advance, don't worry about it. And we have to do justice to the task given to me, that's why this 30 minutes. And this is the title, Refugee Writing, Homeland, Exile and Subjectivity, a national seminar. And I divide this valedictory address into 2 segments. One is to tell you something about the way we have to appreciate literature. And any piece of literature can be studied or read or understood only at the back of a particular background. We call it history or socio-cultural matrix. In that aspect, any literature can be appreciated accordingly. Even when we were witnessing the paper presentation 1 hour back, every scholar was targeting only that particular aspect where the socio-cultural matrix came into quite prominence. Even out of curiosity, I did ask a few scholars about integrating theory and text and vice versa also. So what I do is, I just explain the importance of what we call actually this refugee writing, or the exact aspect of what refugee literature gives us like. Let me quote, I did some homework, otherwise I would offend Professor Hanif, and whose trust on me should not go besmirched, that's why. That is how it goes. According to 1951 Refugee Convention, someone who is unable to or unwilling to return to his or her country of origin owing to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, political opinion, etc. So this is how the convention defines what you call refugee convention. So as students of literature, we are aware of the fact that the following thrust areas can be very much a part of any refugee writing. Either Professor in the morning spoke about, or Professor Pubadi was making a mention of everything. Either you have a riotous situation due to war or violence, or conflict or persecution, or crossing international border for safety. So these were important aspects. And I just take 2 literary pieces to put across my views on the importance of, please. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Professor. So I just take 2 literary texts. One is The Sympathizer by this gentleman, a Vietnamese writer, and then I have so many papers. Yeah, Viet Tang Win's The Sympathizer. Another one is a graphic novel that tells you about the traumatic experience any refugee would undergo. That particular novels, the graphic novel's name is When Stars Are Scattered by Omar Mohammed, and in collaboration with Victoria Jameson. It is a graphic novel. So as usual, friends, children here, if you take the country Nigeria, or if you are aware of the novel Things Fall Apart, then you can always find a kind of conflict between Igbo culture and the Christianity. And any Afro-American literature can be understood in the light of the conflict between black people and American people. We normally call any African settled in America and gets citizenship and becoming a writer, then we call them Afro-American writer. So with regard to African literature or Afro-American, or whenever again Pubadi sir was making a mention in the morning about the conflict between India and Pakistan during the partition of India, Popsy Sidhwa ma'am gave a notion about how the partition affected Pakistan from her perspective, Ice Candy Man. And Kushwant Singh's Train to Pakistan talks about Indian perspective. So time and again, whether we like it or not, we are conscious of the fact that this kind of a traumatic experience would be undergone by many people across the world. To name a few, I was actually making the mention of these things. You can trip down your memory lane if at all you are aware of the fact that what happened in 15th century between Jews and the country Spain. Jews were excommunicated from Spain, and then this exodus of Huguenot from France in 1685, and the eviction of Jews from Germany, Austria, Czech Republic, and the Russian Revolution of 1917, and post-revolutionary civil war where 1.5 million people were excommunicated. And we do talk about what happened in Asia Minor between Anatolia and Asia and Western Europe, and one can list People's Republic of China in the year 1949, how they actually handled a kind of situation like this, and the Korean War of 1950 between 50 and 53, Cuban Revolution, Hungarian Revolution, it goes like anything. And even the erection of Berlin Wall in the year 1961, everything talks about the problems faced by people, either people having advantageous position or less advantageous. So coming back to this graphic novel, how as a student of literature or the teachers of literature, how can we handle partition literature or this, what do you call, one of the important homeland, exile, subjectivity or mass migration. 2 years back, friends, we did undergo a kind of the same situation when the migrant workers of Bihar, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, they were flocking like anything from Tamil Nadu to Delhi on foot. And when in Afghanistan, the current ruling people take charge how people were evacuated fearing death and persecution. We did see plenty of things. So here what happens with regard to when stars are scattered, this gentleman Umar Muhammad wanted to air his opinion for the voiceless. He says voice for the voiceless, and he was actually resorted to a particular camp called Dadaab camp in Kenya, where he had to be separated from his mother in Somalia. And because of his he was more misunderstood than understood. Because of that, what happened? He wanted to create a kind of non-profit organization empowering children. You children I refer to students in refugee camp. So how they have to feel at home. Nobody should feel fish out of water. This gentleman was actually working on it, and he was complimented by an able support by Victoria Jameson, and she was also able to complement his understanding. And this particular book goes like that: a kind of a heartbreaking situation prevailing, and it was dealt very carefully by gentle humor. And on one hand, you have some information about the childhood experience of somebody, the narrator. On the other hand, what happened to a young man in order to create a sense of family in a refugee camp, which is a tall order or a Herculean task indeed. So this is actually given through graphic novel kind of a thing. Graphic novel is none other than a kind of comics book that we study, that we give for our children. So the predicament of refugees was beautifully pen pictured by this gentleman Omar Mohammed in that particular graphic novel, When Stars Are Scattered. On the other hand, when we go to another novel wherein we have Viet Thanh Nguyen, whose sympathizer actually made America vulnerable. Actually, his intention was to support the communist region. Half Vietnam was occupied by French colony and half by communist agency. And America tried its level best to have a control or not to allow the communist party to take charge by ruling Vietnam, and it was this Pulitzer Prize winning novel, The Sympathizer by Viet Thanh Nguyen, that made America vulnerable, and he was able to actually put across his views through historical context also. You talk about the fall of Saigon in the year 1975, and from 1976 onwards, Vietnam is no longer controlled by America either directly or indirectly. Like that we get a kind of idea. And Socialist Republic of Vietnam was the effect of all these things in the year 1976. That was another important thing that we could find in this particular text. So what now I just conclude, as we are running short of time, want of time, whatever you have to go, you have to travel, I have to travel, everybody has to travel. So the point is here, friends, students of literature and students of teachers of English, we can keep in our mind the following proposition. Number one, we do teach, but first to teachers, we do teach history of literature, social history of England, etc. at a basic level. And now we have got, instead of Commonwealth literature, new literatures in English, we have children literature, eco literature, etc. As Professor Bhubadi was making a staunch, appeal. He made a huge appeal that a paper of this type, refugee literature, can be offered by your college by taking into account the autonomy that we have got. So as students of, as teachers of English, you can take this particular area into next level by way of carrying out researches. But the disadvantage is after 20th century only this has been emerging. You don't have a kind of Chaucerian history or American War of Independence history or Ngugi Thiong'o's kind of decolonizing the mind. That particular history has been not so prominent with regard to this refugee literature or homeland, exile and subjectivity kind of issues have not been properly channelized by the academia or academicians like that. So I would appeal to you, at least at NME paper level, Professor Hanif, at least a 2-hour paper or non-major elective kind of a thing, where or special author paper, we can evolve a syllabus and the children are made to understand and they are exposed to this kind of literature. That is one request to you. And from the perspective of the children, students of BA, MA, research scholars, we have to always think out of box thinking. We call it soft skills. If you take a company, if you go for a SWOT analysis, you talk about soft skill, and you have to work very smartly. We cannot all the time carry the legacy of Trevelyan for history of social history of England or for Arthur Compton Rickett for history of English literature. Am I right? So we have to keep abreast of what is going on right now in today's scenario. So you children, even I saw in the afternoon when I came, plenty of books were kept on the table having the refugee literatures. I was very happy that not only this conference threw or would throw light on how important to learn something about this refugee writings and mass migration, but also Hanif sir and his company, his team made it clear that these things are also existing like. So with this, I just take 2 minutes to summarize. Any presentation cannot go without a proper plan and without a proper ending. So we began talking about mass migration and refugees' voices. I could not say much about the slings and arrows of outrageous fortunes of refugees. 3 days back what happened in Pondicherry, a 9-year-old child was killed by one 50-year-old man and one 18-year-old boy as they were intoxicated and they were using ganja and other things. So we never know the values of human. There was a huge ruckus, a political alleging, you did, I did like. So if at all you wanted to read any refugee literature, your mind and body must be stable to see that particular failure or traumatic experience. Anyway, ours is to appreciate literature and act accordingly. So in that respect, friends, you can take this matter forward, wherein we did talk about 2 important components of papers, like 2 writers and their literary works and what they try to convey. Actually, it could have been better had I applied some theories or some benchmark by making some historical context to make you understand. Either one of the girls spoke about the refugee, or for that matter my own book, the one I selected, When Stars Are Scattered, or The Sympathizer. All of you are requested to read in between the lines so that better understanding can be achieved. So we did talk about 2 books. One is about Vietnam War and the fall of America, the big brother attitude. That was what Pubudi sir was mentioning. The other one was about the graphic novel, through how comic a novel represents a serious issue that we did see from Omar Mohammed. And I do believe this 20 to 25 minute address would actually make a little bit impact on you in terms of what the whole day is all about. Morning you had 2 sessions, stalwarts coming and giving fantastic information about refugee literature. In the afternoon you had a ma'am from Kerala joined online and she spoke about the issues that had been going on in Sri Lanka. And now you had your papers presented, very confident presentation. Captain NCC Professor was conducting this session here, and his happiness was also fantastic because he was able to connect with the speakers or the presenters from different parts. And Hanif sir and I were also complimenting each other in terms of how this was taken like. So from dawn to dusk we have plenty of activities, except you are going and coming, not paying attention to what is being said, but it is all child's play. We can always, after having observed Professor Hanif from the morning, at least from 12:20, if I have to react, come on my dear children, you have to keep mum, then I disrespect him, because today I have learnt a lot from him by observing him. And I have been very fortunate. You call it Allah has given me the chance. I would say Lord Shiva has brought, because I am going Nalayappa temple after your program, a double blessing, first to observe and listen to, and then to get some message from Professor Hanif, then my meeting Lord in Nalayappa. Everything is fantastic. Thank you all. I pray for everyone's betterment, better education. Make your knowledge spread. I go across Tamil Nadu. I have been a national speaker, examiner, so on so forth. And sometimes we teachers know, audience new papers, old paper idea, old idea, we can manage kind of a thing. We have a notion, but you have to change your style then and there. So I have thoroughly enjoyed today of what I have been acquainting. And Professor Bhubudi's lecture was fantastic. I just told myself, why did I study literature? Like, after listening to Professor Bhubudi, it was a spontaneous overflow of powerful feeling recollected in tranquility. You don't believe I took 10 pages notes of what Mr. Bhubudi was talking about. Such a fantastic karumbu thingirthukku kooliya venumanga anga oorla adu mari. After having come here, got benefited, and a few things like look at those things they give, and I have to give a post.
Thank you, sir. Like, and then I have to go home. Thank you all. Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking all of us down the memory line by means of recalling history. It was a wonderful shedding light of the burning issues across the world. Yes, indeed, your 25 to 30-minute talk did make an impact, I assure you. Once again, thank you so much, sir. And it's time to honor our guest of honor, Dr. T. Varadarajan. I request Dr. Abdul Qadir, the former director of our college, to honor Dr. Varadarajan. Dr. A. Abdul Qadir, the mini Shashi Tharoor. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And it's time to honor the organizing committee of the seminar. I request Dr. Varadarajan to honor Dr. S. Muhammad Hanif. I request Dr. T. Varadarajan to honor Dr. S. Muhammad Hanif. Dr. S. Muhammad Hanif is the convener of this one-day national seminar. I request Dr. Bhubadi to honor the assistant convener, Dr. S. Khalil Ahmed. I request Dr. A. Abdul Qadir to honor Dr. K. Sayyid Ali Badusha, the organizing secretary. I request Dr. S. Muhammad Hanif to honor Dr. Yunus Ahmed, one of the organizing secretaries.
I request Dr. Bhupati sir to honor our organizing secretary, Dr. Abuguni Miran sir. Please sir. I request Dr. T. Varadarajan to honor Dr. K. Hema, chairperson of the presentation sessions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I request Dr. Bhubadi to honor Dr. L. Faustina Leo. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. A. Abdul Qadir to honor Dr. Kanna Muthaya. அவ்வளோதான், முடிஞ்சிச்சு. I request Dr. T. Varadarajan to honor Dr. Said Ali Badusha, one of the chairpersons.
I request Dr. Mohammad Hanif sir to honor our chairperson Dr. Abukuni Miran sir. Now I would like to call upon the coordinators of the paper reading sessions, Mrs. Khadija Wasila ma'am, please ma'am. Okay. Mrs. Zeenat ma'am. Professor Banazir Nusrat ma'am. I request our principal to honor our coordinators. Ms. Rizana. I request our principal to honor our coordinator Banazir Nusrat ma'am. The next coordinator Ms. Rizana ma'am, Mrs. Selvi ma'am, Mr. Kurshid, Dr. Anand sir. Dr. Anand. Carry on. Now it's time for the student achievers. Now let me welcome our principal to recognize our students, Shanmuga Mushina of 2nd MA English, who has cleared NET and JRF for the year 2023 to 24. Sumaya Mushina. I request our former director, Dr. Abdul Qadir sir, to recognize our next student, Kashira Banu of 2nd MA English, who has cleared NET for 2 times. Up next, I would like to call Bushra of 2nd MA English, who has cleared NPTL and she has achieved 90%. I welcome the principal to honor our student Bushra. Mentor, okay. Mr. Talha is a mentor and I would like to call him on the stage. Professor Mel. The student of BA English has taken a studious effort in collecting different money from students of first year and second year and third year, by which they pay money for the students or help the students, and the title of the scheme is Make a Change with a Coin, and they have collected a huge amount. I would like to call Sheikh Moiddin and Sajid of 2nd BA English, and they are recognized by our principal. They have donated 40,000 for the students, for the department, and it is for the students who could not pay the fee or for any other medicinal help. Thank you, Sheikh Moiddin and Sajid. And every year the department recognizes a best outstanding student, outgoing student, and it is for this year it is Siddhi Sajida from 3rd BA English. I welcome our principal to honor the student. Now it's time to award the best papers. At first, I'd like to call from the venue 1, it's Jesslyn Chellam from St. John's College, the PhD research scholar. Her title is on the figure of migrant mobility, subjectivity and expulsion in Octavia E. Butler's Parable of the Sower. I welcome our principal to honor the student, the paper presenter. She was formerly our MPhil student. Next, Pradeepa from APC Mahalakshmi College for Women from venue 2. The title of her paper is Delineation of Adolescent Identity Crisis, in which represents the hero of Olympus, the last hero. From venue 3, it's Mohammad Noor Asma from 2nd MA English, Govindamal, Adityanar College for Women. The title of her paper is Exploring Cultural Differences and Identity Crisis in Kristen Hamel's The Book of Last Names. The student is being recognized by our head of the department. I request Bushra and Parvati of 2nd MA English, who is the first best presenter from the venue 4. The title of the paper is Destined to Wander, Exploring Refugee Plight in Hosseini's The Kite Runner and the Sea Prayer. I request Bhumati sir to honor the students. I request one participant from each college to collect the certificates. Yeah. For both participation and presentation, you can have one student. St. John's Kotai, 1 or 2 students shall come up. St. John's College, Palayam Kotai. I request our principal to honor. Next, Manomaniyam Sundana University. I request our principal. The third college, MSc College, Puliyangudi. I request our former director, Dr. Abdul Qadir sir, to honor the students. MSc College, Puliyangudi. Rani Anna Government College, Tirunelveli. I request Dr. Varadarajan sir to honor the students of Dr. Rani Anna College for Women, Tirunelveli. Dr. Varadarajan sir. Sadakathuallah College, Tirunelveli. I request Dr. Bhubadi sir to honor the students of Dr. Sadakathuallah College, Tirunelveli. Sri Ayyappa College, Narkoil. Sri Ayyappa College, Narkoil. I request Dr. Syed Ali Basha sir to honor the student of Dr. Ayyappa College, Narkoil. Tiruvallur College, Pabanasam. I request Dr. Abukani Miran sir to honor the student of Tiruvallur College, Pabanasam. St. Saviour's College, Tirunelveli. I request Dr. Khalil Ahmed sir to honor the students of St. Saviour's College, Tirunelveli. Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai. I request Dr. Mohammad Anif sir to honor the students of Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai. Students from Vellore Institute of Technology, okay. Gandhigram Rural Institute. Govindamal Adityanar College. APC Mahalakshmi College, Thuthukudi. Please. I request Dr. Mohammad Anif sir to honor the student, APC Mahalakshmi College, Thuthukudi. ST Hindu College, Narkoil. I request our principal to honor the student, ST Hindu College, Narkoil. Last college, Sri KGS Arts College, Sri Vaikundam. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I request the co-convener of the national seminar, Dr. Khalil Ahmed sir, to propose the vote of thanks. Please.
Good evening to you all. So I feel very much happy to share a very good news, okay, before this August presence. Sadakathuallah Appa College, just now 20 minutes before, we have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Zoho Corporation Limited, one of the leading most IT sector, having more than 100 million customer base. So Hong Kong la poi visit பண்ணோம். அங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய எல்லா பேங்கையும் பார்த்தோம். HSBC வேர்ல்ட்லயே டாப் மோஸ்ட் பேங்க், 50 ஸ்டோரிடு, ஒன்லி அந்த கம்பிலேயே கட்டிட்டு போயிருந்தான். பேங்க் ஆஃப் அமெரிக்கா, பேங்க் ஆஃப் சைனா, அவ்வளோ பேங்க்ஸையும் பார்த்தோம். ஸோ பேங்கிங் செக்டாருக்காக சொல்யூஷன்ஸ் கொடுக்கறதுக்காக அதில் நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் இருக்குது அப்படின்றனால ஜோஹோ கார்பரேஷனோட அவங்களுடைய ஃபினான்ஷியல் செக்ஷனோட கொலாபரேட் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். ஸோ ஃப்ரம் திஸ் இயர் ஆன்வர்ட்ஸ் ஜோஹோ புக் அப்படின்னக்கூடிய பேப்பர் எல்லாமே நம்மளுடைய சிலபஸில் வந்துடும். அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க நம்மளுடைய கேம்பஸ் பார்ட்னராக மாறுறாங்க. ஸோ ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு எல்லாத்துக்குமே அந்த கேம்பஸ் இன்டர்வியூக்கான ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் அவங்க கொடுக்குறதுக்கு அந்த MOUவில் நம்ம சைன் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். ஸோ டுடே இஸ் தி வெரி ஹாப்பியஸ்ட் டே ஐ திங்க் வித் ஆல் யுவர் ப்ரேயர்ஸ் அண்ட் சப்போர்ட்ஸ். தேங்க்யூ ஒன் அண்ட் ஆல்.
Thank you, sir, for the information. So, a huge responsibility has been entrusted upon me, that is proposing vote of thanks. As Dr. T.S. Varadarajan sir rightly pointed out, anything that started well must end well. So, I would like to begin my vote of thanks with the happenings of the last Thursday. Today, the 7th of March 2024, Thursday, we have successfully completed conducting a national seminar on refugee writings, homeland exile and subjectivity. But let's see what happened last Thursday in may I have your attention please. So but let's see what happened last Thursday in Khan Yunis, that is besieged Gaza, occupied Palestine. A convoy of at least 18 food trucks arrived at around 4:30 am on Thursday morning, sent by countries in the region including Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Civilians swarmed around the newly arrived 8 trucks in the hope of getting food, and what happened is Israeli forces soon started shooting. At least 112 people were killed on the spot and 760 people injured critically in an incident where Israel Defense Forces troops used live fire as hungry and desperate Palestinian civilians were gathering around food aid trucks. So this comes as one of the worst single tragedies to occur during Israel's war with Hamas, after scores of Palestinians were killed trying to access food aid in Gaza city. So kindly excuse me for beginning my vote of thanks with such a somber note, but I had no other option anyways. So let me begin my vote of thanks now. So it gives me immense pleasure to stand in front of you to propose vote of thanks. So first and foremost, I wish to thank God Almighty for having given us the chance and strength to conduct this national seminar on refugee writings, homeland exile and subjectivity. Without him nothing is possible. So next I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the college managing committee in general and Honorable Secretary Al-Haj T.S. Fatur Rabbani Sahib in particular for the unwavering support in the conduct of events like this. Your magnanimous support and guidance is instrumental in keeping us charged. Thank you, dear sirs. I register my hearty gratitude to our principal, Dr. S.M. Abdul Qadir sir, for being a great source of motivation and for delivering the presidential address. Thank you, sir. I thank Dr. S.M.A. Syed Mohammad Khaja, the Vice Principal of Unaided Programs, for your kind support and motivation. Thank you, sir. So on behalf of the Research Department of English, Sadakathuallah Appa College, I would like to extend our warm gratitude to all the resource persons today. It has been an absolute pleasure to have each and every one of you here. I thank Dr. Kishore Ram sir, Professor NSS College Pandalam Pathanamthitta, Kerala, who delivered the inaugural address on Literature Without Borders, Understanding Migration Through Narratives. He enabled us to envision the plight and predicament of the refugees through his enlightening talk. Thank you, sir. I wholeheartedly thank, with some personal fondness, Dr. Bhupati sir, Assistant Professor, Department of English Studies, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Thiruvarur, for his eye-opening speech on children on the move, border, citizenship and transnational identity. With your lecture, sir, you have thrown more light on the intricacies of the children belonging to the war-torn countries. Thank you very much, dear sir. Next, I thank Dr. Aparna Ishwaran, Assistant Professor, School of International Relations and Politics, Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, Kerala, for her enlightening speech on waiting, exile and return, poetry on enforced disappearances in Sri Lanka and Palestine. Your speech made us relate and assimilate to the predicament of Tamils and Palestinians. Thank you, dear madam. I thank with utmost sincerity Dr. T.S. Varadarajan sir, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, Tyagarajar College, Madurai, for having delivered a speech on mass migration and refugee voices, a scrutiny, which made us empathize with the refugees. Thank you, dear sir. So we would like to express our sincere appreciation to all the resource persons for sharing their valuable insights and expertise with us. Your presentations have been truly enlightening and inspiring. We look forward to having future collaborations. So it is my duty to thank all the deans, Dean of Arts, that is our head of the department, Dr. Hanif sir, the IQAC coordinator, the admin heads, the heads of various departments, and then senior faculty members for their generous support. Thank you, dear sirs and madams. Next, I wish to thank the head of the head of our department, Dr. S.Mohammed Hanif sir, the convener of this seminar, for his relentless efforts and meticulous planning that enabled the successful conduct of the program. Thank you, dear sir. I thank wholeheartedly the organizing secretaries, Captain Dr. K. Saidili Badusha, Dr. Yunus Ahmad Muhammad Sharif, Dr. Abu Kaniba Miran, for their coordinated efforts that brought a fruition to the program. Thank you, sirs. I would also like to extend thanks to all the faculty participants from various colleges, the participants, the paper presenters, the attendees both offline and online, who have contributed to the success of this seminar through your presence and patient listening. Your active participation and enthusiasm have made today's event a memorable one. Thank you, all of you. So, word of thanks goes to all the organizing committee members. I start with Dr. Kanna Muthaya. Thank you, madam. Dr. K. Hema, Mrs. S.O. Khatija Fasila, Mrs. M. Zeenat Fakiral Banu, and then Dr. L. Anita Nyanamuthu, head of the PG department, Dr. L. Faustina Leo, Mrs. M. Benazir Nusrat, Mrs. S. Selvi, Mrs. M. Javamallar Frida, Dr. Alice Sophia, Mr. K. Talha, Mrs. M. Supriya, Mr. K. Mohammad Ashik Ali, Ms. S. Risana, Ms. M. Nabisha Bibi, Mr. A. Mohammad Kushid Khan, Dr. M. Sumati, Dr. R.O. Kevajita, and Dr. J. Anand. Thank you, all of you. So I would like to thank from my heart's core our former director, Dr. A. Abdul Qadir sir, for his gracious presence. I also thank Dr. A. Nehmatullah sir, who had been here in the morning session. Thank you very much, sir, for your presence. You had been the stalwarts of the department, whose footprints we are following right now. Thank you, dear sirs. Your unstinting contributions, the organizing secretaries and the organizing committee members, your unstinting contributions under various capacities that made this seminar a great success. Thank you, dear sirs and madams. I thank Dr. Muhammad Rafiq, Assistant Professor of Arabic, and Mr. Izuddin of 3rd Microbiology, for suggesting the Quranic verses and the mellifluous recitation of the Quranic verses respectively. Last but not least, I thank Mr. Muhammad Rafiq, the lab assistant, the Research Department of English, Mr. Venkat, who offered the technical support, Mr. Jafar Ali, the lights and sounds in charge, the student volunteers who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure everything ran smoothly. Your dedication and hard work are truly commendable. So kindly excuse me if I had left out any names. In the closing, let us carry the spirit of today's event forward and continue to collaborate and support each other in our endeavors. Once again, thank you all for being a part of this wonderful national seminar on refugee writings, homeland, exile and subjectivity. Have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Khalil, for sincerely thanking everyone concerned. And it's time for national anthem. I request Hairunusha and her team, please.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्कल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you so much.